Hello everybody! Today I'm going to do a high elf tier list for all the lords and heroes and the units. So let's get started. First we have the best, the Alariel. She's simply the best lord in the high elf roster. She's been the best since she arrived like 2 years ago. And yeah, just still the best support in the game. As simple as that. Thanks to the Star of Avalon, mostly, and just the fact that she can spam healing all game. Then we got Elitana, pretty good from range, especially to take down artillery or slow-moving targets. He is good especially with kiting or with good defensive armies that rely on a lot of missile pressure. He still needs a lot of help on his items, and he's not that good at sniping moving targets. But I rate him average. He's decent, you can use him. Now, all the mages, I will not do all the laws, but overall, the mages are very solid picks. I put them in A tier. Just a strong overall. You can always pick a good law of magic that fits your army, and they have a good mount selections. You can take them on horse, on foot, or a big dragon. Now you have Eltarion. Again, same problem. This guy is he is decent. He has law of high, which is pretty good law, but he is very expensive for what he does. He's not the best fighter, and his items are just not very good. So this guy is not barely even in the middle, but he's a bit too weak, so I'm going to put him in C tier. Now the Handmaiden, decent hero. She is always okay, but you do not see her often because she is simply not very good. Her missiles are not strong. Barely can touch anything because she doesn't have homing arrows like the Waystalker or the other archers like that. She will miss a lot. She is barely decent in melee. So, and her items, not very good either. She needs a lot of help, especially in her items, and her pew pew, needs a lot more DPS here. So she's going in C tier. Now we got Imrik. Imrik, pretty decent, especially on horse. Not very good on dragon. He's just too expensive, and dragons are not that great right now. So Imrik needs some love because dragons are not good. So Imrik, decent on horse, not great on dragon. C tier. Now we got our friend Lord Master, the Lord Master. I like him, but he's not good. I have to be honest. He has a good spell selection, but he doesn't have magic regen. He's also not very good on foot, and he's always on foot, so that's kind of bad. He's almost, average, but he's definitely below average. He needs a lot of help. He should be a better duelist, He's not very good at dueling, even though he should be. He's basically a hero blade master, but he gets wrecked by everything. So this guy, he is going into D tier, but it doesn't mean you cannot use him. Like, I use him pretty effectively in a few builds, like kiting because of healing and the spirit leech, and you can also use him in a box, like against Bretonia, because it will give you magic resistance around him. So being in D tier doesn't mean he's unplayable. It means he needs help in many ways. So basic mages, obviously very strong. You can pick any law of magic almost, and they're on horse or on chariot. Can give you a lot of magic regen, and yeah, simply strong mage. So she's going A. Noble. So this guy used to be completely broken in on chariot, but this is a long gone, long gone story, and he's barely good on horse, still okay on his chariot. On foot, he's just a fighter, you know. Nothing to say here. This guy is pretty decent. Just let's say he's decent, but could take could need some help. Now the prince, pretty useless. Not a good fighter. He has dragon mounts, but dragons are not great. He doesn't have any good item for himself except stealth augments and stand your ground. So pretty expensive for what he does. Just useless. He is useless. Now the princess. I think you guys do not know her real power because she is strong. Especially on Eagle, she can actually snipe a lot of things. She's obviously not the level of the Sisters of Twilight, but she can actually get like 2 or 3k damage in the long run just by shooting stuff. Especially if you use the mini arrow of Kronos on top, arrow of high arrows. Very strong. Best target for it is the chariot. If you see a chariot, you can use it on the chariot. It's gonna do a lot of damage. And yeah, in the long run, she will do a lot of damage. And Eagle, she can actually psycho charge stuff and kill casters on foot, stuff like that. She is quite strong. Obviously not amazing, but pretty strong. Going A. You can see all the girls on top here. Just A, S, A, all good, and the guys are just so sad. Good thing the handmaiden is also bad. So now Teclis, finally a good male caster. This guy is pretty good. He's got a lot of synergy with the high elves, especially with Sisters of Avalon and big dragons because of regrowth. And yeah, just overall very strong. He can even have his pigeon, you know, the Arcane Phoenix. That makes him almost unkillable, but very expensive. He has almost unlimited magic, but he's still just not as good as Eliel. So this guy is a very strong A tier, almost S, but yeah, just very strong pick. Now the best, the Chad, Tyrion. He is not great. Sadly, he is not great. Just a decent fighter. He actually dies to a lot of stuff because his HP pool is very low. And he has a big problem with the star, not the star of Avalon, the heart of Avalon. You know, you probably know the problem at this point. It's gonna pop when he will be routing most of the time. So it's very dangerous and a waste very often. And we still have a problem with the horse, you know, horse fighter. They have a hard time getting out of the fights and actually fighting what they want. And even his Sunfang is not as good as it used to be. It just takes a long wind up and it's pretty easy to dodge. He is decent. Tyrion can work. I would put him in B tier because he's simply okay. But he deserves to be better. Now, the Dragon Princess Aurora. Very strong cav. Just nothing to say here, just anti-large. Sadly, they do not have AP. If they had AP, they would be S tier, but they are not. Still very susceptible to get destroyed by Spirit Leech spam or artillery. Just be careful about those things. And yeah, they can just carry some games for you. Triads, it's only on a Lyre faction, Avalon. And they get a tax of plus 25 gold compared to Wood Elf Triads. So these guys are just okay-ish. Like, C, you know. And you could even put it in D tier because it almost doesn't exist in the higher roster unless you take Avalon. Still strongish because Eliel is the best. Elysian Rivers, arguably the best missile cav in the game. They are like a good hybrid. They can counter the other missile cav from the other factions. And they can pew pew and just do a lot of work for you. A tier. Now, Shadow Walkers. Again, same problem. Decent unit. Very expensive still. I would say if they were on the higher roster, they would be pretty important just, by taking one, because this would be your only source of poison, which is quite handy. So you could take one or two in your armies, and you could see these guys, like in B. Could be a good B tier, but the fact that they're on just Alithana faction just hurts them. And they are not that good, just like this. But they are not D, they are not total bad, Just a decent unit. Would be nice to have them in the higher roster. Shadow Warriors, amazing unit. Just very strong. Very strong. You can always get good value from these guys. 850, it's not that much. They are like depot scouts, but that can actually act as a decent melee unit, which is not the case of scouts. And yeah, these guys can put a lot of work for you if you give them time to shoot at their good targets. Our these guys, D tier, just they suck. They suck. Big fat B, very expensive. They have snipe, which is cool, but for the price you pay, definitely not worth it. Do not pick these guys. Sisters of Avalon, good unit. Need some help. It's an expensive one. You need to protect it. They can protect themselves in a few situations, but they also have a hard time shooting at what they want. They have potentially a lot of DPS, but it's not going to be so easy to use them. Still, decent unit. In a good spot, I would say. In a good spot. Same for the hour. Just for a few more bucks, you get some magic regen, and you get an encourage aura, rank 9 stats, and yeah, I think that's it. Pretty strong, especially in the vampire counts matchup. Now we got the our Sea Guards. Our Sea Guards, if they had shields, they would be better because these guys are Vanguard. But the problem is that if they don't have shield and they're Vanguard, they can just get shot by a few things that they would like to trade at the beginning of a match. And for the price you pay, I think it's 950. It's not great. So barely usable. Just I think it's D tier. It's between C and D, but I want them to have shields. So now Phoenix Guards. Pretty good in it. Situational. Do not abuse them. Like, do not pick 3 or 4 of them. Always, they are strong. In a good place. Just, yeah, a good elite Albert unit. Our spearmen. So spearmen are not great from the start. And these guys are only good if you blob. It's still, for the price, not great. So I would put these guys in C tier. They are barely decent. just good for blobbing, and they will not even kill stuff, you know, just not great. So now Trickins are just barely decent in the Wood of Froster, and here they are just not that good either. Same thing for the Treeman. He is not good from the start, and you pay 75 more for him and 50 more for the Trickin. Not worth taking. Now we've got our White Lions. So these guys are pretty strong. I think you can safely put them in A tier, because the White Lions from the start are pretty good. And these guys have the Guardian ability, which gives physical resistance to your lords and heroes. They also have the Sundering ability in melee, which does a minus 30 armor to the targets. So yeah, pretty strong. So our archers, these guys give plus 22% fire damage to the targets they hit. So great at comboing with the sisters or Fireborn or the dragon. On their own, they are not so good, expensive, and it's pretty much the only way to make a good use of them. So yeah, just a decent unit, situational. These guys, Rangers, they are okay. Very good at clearing chaff, but otherwise, for 600 gold, you do not get that much from them. I think they are just in a good spot. Good spot, not amazing. Silvering Guards used to be amazing in launch, but they got hit with the double nerf, and now they sit pretty much between this and this. They are like decent, they will barely ever do anything good for you, and I do think they are a bit underpowered. Arcane Phoenix, without a doubt, going S tier. That thing is just on its own, very strong, and you can just go full cheese and take two of them with Eliel. They will just never die and just bully the enemy. That's pretty much it. The Awa Phoenix. This guy is 500 more gold than the regular Phoenix. And for what? Rank 9 stats and ITP aura. So thanks but no thanks. For 500, you go here, probably, because he's still very strong. He's kind of a meme, but do not underestimate him, because just because he's 500 more gold, still very strong. Can actually synergize with the roster, giving ITP. Eliel can do the same. So you got either Eliel or this guy to give ITP to your army. So not that bad. Definitely needs a price reduction. Now the War Lions. These guys, they suck. Oh yeah, they just suck. For 825, you will almost never get good value from these guys. They're like just hounds with AP. They die very fast, and they are twice the price of hounds. So yeah, these guys need like 150 gold reduction, or just some more HP, armor, and stuff. They are not good. The AOR, on the other hand, pretty good because of their ability and rank 9 stats. Like, they are made decent thanks to that. So yeah, you can use these guys, but I do not recommend using the regular ones. Little Red Dragon, Sun Dragon. Like we said, the dragons are not very good right now. So I will put the Sun Dragon in simply D tier. Because he just won't do much for you. He cannot fight anything. The only good thing you get from him is his breath attack. And his breath attack will mostly clean infantry. And then if you try to fight, he will die. He will die. So yeah, do not pick that thing. The lion chariots, very strong, very strong. Especially with a Lyle. Once again, if you are in S tier, you automatically get better because of Lyle. That's it. These guys are just AP, can kill monsters, can kill infantry, can kill cav. Very cost effective. And yeah, pick them all the time. Archers, very strong archers. But these guys are actually the armored archers, so you pay 50 more for some melee defense and some armor, which makes them actually a lot worse than they should. Because the regular archers are just here in A. For 50 gold, it's not worth it taking these guys, but it actually makes them better against like missile cav trying to attack them in melee. Like, it's the perfect situation for paying those 50 golds more. If you have some spare gold and you want archers, you can, at the end, upgrade them, potentially. But I do not recommend starting with these guys. You start with these guys, and if you have the gold to upgrade, you can take them. Eagle Claw Boltor, just not great. Not great. It's like between C and D. I would say C because you can still use them in many matchups. They are good at firing into artillery and winning the trade. But the low range hurts them here. You can potentially lose the trade very fast. And it's not very good, sadly, at shooting monsters unless they are very slow. And the spread shot is also very bad. It's only good like against peasant archers or stuff like that. It really doesn't do much. And the single fire is also okay against cav, but not that great. For 700, you would want more value from these guys, which you almost never get. Regular Dragon Princes, same story as the RR, just great cav. Great cav. They don't have fire damage like the RR, but yeah, very strong cav. They have always been one of the main good asset for the high elves, and they are still very strong. You can rely on them, and obviously Eliel is perfect to help them get better value. These guys, I don't even remember the name. They just don't exist. Trash tier. If there was F tier, they would be here because they are simply 300 gold too much. Yeah, something like that. They are like a light chariot from the other factions, but they just they do not work. They are not worth the gold. These guys, though, decent chariot, decent light chariot for 850. Can also skirmish and skirmish with magic arrows. So yeah, pretty strong against a few counters, and you should use these guys a few times. And yeah, pretty strong. Alien Rivers. So I guess I did the Alien Rivers before. Those were the AOR, but I talked about the regular rivers. So these guys are very strong, like I said. But I will switch because these guys are the AOR, and the AOR are very expensive. They run very fast, they have rank 9 stats, but for the cost, you get a silver helm, and which makes them not that great. Rivers melee. These guys, pretty strong. Really. 550, this is the best light cav in the game. But they do not have shield. So, be careful when you get shot with these guys. Do not get shot. Bad idea. But you should take the fight against other light calves, and you can even help your main calf force with them, give them more models. Pretty strong. Yeah, for the price, very good unit. Sea Guards, barely decent. Just they used to be good. I mean, actually, they have not changed, but the rest of the high elf army changed. And the way high elf play now, they do not have such a good place. They are just okay-ish. Like they have less damage than regular archers, less range. They can defend themselves in melee and have some anti-large and stuff. But so can the regular archers, except the anti-large. So these guys are kind of in between B and C. Their level of power is pretty low right now. Decent, but yeah, same for these guys. You know, you can just pay for the shield, which is very handy, but it's a decent unit. Has some good matchups, but overall not great. Eagle here, just C tier. Eagle has never been very good on its own. It's quite okay and good on your characters as a mount, but 800 for this guy, you get Manticore for the same price. So yeah, no, it's pretty bad. This thing needs some help. Like it should cost 700, to be honest. This Moon Dragon, pretty decent. I think is okay, even though dragons are struggling right now. The Moon Dragon is okay, especially as a mount. On its own, it could work. He's okay-ish, but let's put him in B tier because as a mount, he's okay, but he's between B and C right now. The Flamespire Phoenix. I would rate him B. It's an okay Phoenix, pretty good, between B and A. I would say he's, yeah, not the strongest Phoenix, obviously, but he's in a pretty good spot. Pretty good spot. He doesn't do the same thing. He's not a good duelist like him, like the Arcane, but he's very good with his bombs, and can do a lot of work. The Frost Phoenix. I mean, Blue Phoenix. What is his name? I forgot. He's C tier. Yeah, not great. For the price you pay, this guy is not tanky enough. You should, like, the Arcane Phoenix is a lot more tanky for 200 more gold and has a vortex and stuff. It just never dies. This thing needs to be a lot more tanky, like it needs more armor, maybe physical resistance like the other Fire Phoenixes. He just doesn't do enough. But he can be good with the Arcane Phoenix and Eliel, you know. Just do a Goon Squad, he's gonna work. He's good in a box because he can debuff all the enemies around him. He can reduce the AP and the attack, I believe. So, not trash tier, you can still use him, alright? Oh, this is a red dragon, I forgot. This is Imrik dragon, so yeah, you don't exist. You go here. My bad. So, Phoenix Guard, Arwar. These guys are the Arwar actually. So same, pretty strong. The Arwar have magic damage and more expensive, rank 9. Pretty useful, but most of the time you will only need regular Phoenix Guards. But having the Arwar can be handy. If you can see, it just gives you an extra very strong unit that has automatically some magic damage. So to consider in some matchups. Silver Hams, pretty decent cav. Simply not very good, but in a good spot. I believe they can still get some love. Maybe a little something, but there's not much. It's, yeah, nothing to say. It's not expensive, just good cav overall. Spearmen, pretty bad. Yeah, nothing much to say. They do not kill. They struggle against all the infantry like under the price or in their price range. Just struggle. They are bad. They need some love. Star Dragon is still in okay shape thanks to healing. So this guy is still A tier, not S tier like he used to be. You can still use him. He's definitely the best dragon. You get the most value out of all your heals, and he's the best duelist you can get. Even better than the Arcane Phoenix, but the Arcane Phoenix is simply better overall because he is impossible to kill. So, which is not the case of the dragon. That they all die to missiles right now and get stuck all the time. Still decent dragon. Sword Masters, B tier, just good, nothing special. It's the best anti-infantry you can get in the game outside of some hours. For the price, it's pretty good. You can usually use one or two of these guys in your armies and they will do well. Do not overdo it like for Phoenix Guards. Just do not go too hard on elite infantry in your higher armies. It's gonna backfire if you do. So yeah, strong unit. I don't think they need any love. They are in a good spot. They need some good micro and awareness to make use. So yeah, good unit. White Lions, pretty strong. Arguably the best infantry in the IF roster right now. Just overall will always do well for you, unless they get shot like crazy. But they are good against infantry. They are good against cav. They are good against monsters. Just high damage, resistant to missiles, good armor, AP. What do you want more? 800 gold. You can take 4 or 5 of these guys, and just the rest can be monsters and cav and archers. So yeah, we are done. This was a pretty long tier list. Sorry about that, but I hope that it was worth explaining all the little details on every unit and why they are in S, A, B, C, or D tier, and why you should or should not use these units. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please leave a comment if you want to, obviously. Leave a like if you like. Leave a dislike if you do not. And I will probably do another tier list like this for Bretonia, Wood Elf, Dark Elves, and maybe other factions. Please leave a comment for the next factions you would like to see. All right, have a good one. Bye bye.